You're watching Bizworld and I'm Sabrina Zainal. Every cent spent on the 8 stimulus packages worth 530 billion ringgit has to be monitored closely to ensure that the objectives of assisting the people and businesses were met. To achieve this, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Sri Mustafa Muhammad, said the government has set up the National Economic Implementation and Strategic Coordination Agency, or Laksana, to monitor the implementation of these packages closely.
In 2020 and 2021, our fiscal deficit has gone up, resulting from the need to meet the basic needs of the rakyat and to ensure the survival of businesses, especially micro, small and medium enterprises. It has become even more important now for us to be prudent in our spending. There should be zero tolerance for the abuse of power and weak governance. Every cent spent.
He said this in his speech when officiating the virtual 7th Annual Economic Symposium, AES 2021. He said as the public is closely watching the government's performance in areas of governance and integrity, the Auditor General's Department must carry out its responsibility to audit all expenditures by ministries and agencies. Malaysia's total trade surpassed 1 trillion ringgit in just 6 months, the shortest period to breach this milestone. Now, Senior Minister and International Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali said for the first half of 2021, trade totaled 1.056 trillion ringgit, an expansion of 26% from the same period last year. Exports rose by 30.2% and imports increased by 21.1%. This was the highest half-year value recorded for trade, exports and imports, while trade surplus surged by 87.7%. The export growth was contributed by strong demand for petroleum products, electrical and electronic products, as well as rubber products. Exports to all major markets, namely ASEAN, China, the US, the European Union and Japan, recorded double-digit expansion.
Attracting investors to Malaysia. What sectors really matter? Doing business in Malaysia. How easy is it for investors? And housing high-end FDI. Why is it so important? MIDA Chief Executive Officer Arham Abdul Rahman joins Money Matters this Saturday with Zahir Kelvin Ong Abdullah at 5 p.m. only on TV3.
The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has revised downwards the 2021 economic outlook for ASEAN 5 countries by 0.6% to 4.3% as the recent COVID-19 infection waves are causing a drag on activity. The ASEAN 5 countries are Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, Thailand and Vietnam. The IMF pointed out that risks around the global baseline are to the downside as slower than anticipated vaccine rollout would allow the virus to mutate further. In its latest World Economic Outlook, the IMF, however, revised upwards the ASEAN 5 countries' economic outlook for 2022 to 6.3%. Moving on, food delivery platform companies, namely Grab and Food Panda, are urged to consider halving their commission rate to 15%, a more viable rate for the food and beverage industry. President of Malaysia Retail Chain Association, MRCA, Shirley Tay, said the existing commission rates are deemed too high.
We would also call for, consideration and goodwill from their end to look at this very difficult time to reduce the charges. In my opinion, I feel that 30% is definitely too high. We are looking at, something halving the commission rate.
Tay said due to the high commission rate, there is an increasing number of food and beverage outlets which are becoming less keen on utilizing the services of food delivery apps. She added the dependence of food and beverage outlets on dine-ins cannot be overstated, adding that the pandemic and lockdowns have nearly destroyed the industry, with many forced to shut down operations for good. Those are the business updates for now. I'm Sabrina Zainal. Thanks for tuning in and stay safe.